Hello guys, welcome to the video, welcome back to Lithuania. In this video I just want to go over some reasons why I think Lithuania is one of the best countries to go to if you want to go and travel on a budget in a camper van. Stay tuned. Oh yes, welcome back to the channel guys. This is Lithuania. My name is Sam, this is Gabby, and in this video I want to talk to you about how amazing our experience was in Lithuania. Now this may seem as if it's somewhat biased because Gabby is Lithuanian, but hopefully by the end of this video then you will understand how attractive Lithuania is to come to if you travel in a camper van. And if this is your first time joining us, then please hit subscribe below. It really helps us out. Thanks a bunch. So Lithuania is a very small country. They have a population of around about 3 million people. And the area of land is not very big at all. So it makes it really easy for traveling around. Now most people speak English, especially around our age, like sort of under 40 years old. But any older than 40, then they're probably going to speak Russian as a second language. So bear that in mind when you're going and when you're asking people questions and stuff when you're there. When Gabia and I met, I didn't actually know where Lithuania was, to be honest. When we first met, something like, I don't know, almost 8 years ago, I went home and I had to Google where Lithuania was. I hold my hands up, I'm really sorry, but I had no idea about this amazing little country on the Baltic coast. So just recently, we spent about just over a month in Lithuania. We drove over in the camper van and we spent about a month there exploring, seeing friends and spending time with Gabia's family. Now, obviously we're in the days of coronavirus and we drove over there in the camper van because we thought it's probably the safest way to go there. We were socially distancing for the whole journey, and I encourage you, when you do go and visit Lithuania, do it only when it's safe to do so. So we went there and first of all we got tested for coronavirus to make sure that we weren't going to infect Gabby's mum, who is in a risk group, and anyone else there for that matter. So that's the first thing we did when we got there. And in the following 4 to 5 weeks that we were there, I had the opportunity to really spend some time in Lithuania and get to grips with the people and the culture. In the past, we've only ever been there for like a couple of weeks maximum. And more often than not, we only go there for a long weekend. We might go sort of 4 or 5 times a year, but only for 2 or 3 days at a time. So this was a really great opportunity for me to get stuck into the culture. Unfortunately, while we were there, Gabia was studying pretty much non-stop. And that's another reason why she's not in this video, is because right now, right this moment, she is taking her architecture exam, which is her final day of her final exam. She's done her bachelor degree, her master's degree, and now she's doing, I guess, what you could call the equivalent of a PhD in architecture. It's her ROBA Part 3 exam. So she's been studying a lot, day and night, for this exam, and today she's finally taking it. So in future videos, she will be back on the channel, she'll be back in the videos. I've really missed filming with her, and I'm sure you guys have missed seeing her as well. So I was exploring Lithuania a lot on my own, and I thought, you know, I don't need to go on my own. Coronavirus at the time when we got to Lithuania was pretty much non-existent. There was maybe 1 or 2 cases every day across the whole country. So I was able to invite friends along and go to different places. Like I invited my friend Andrew along and we went to the Hill of Crosses near Cholet. We were able to hang out with our friend Olsteya. She actually asked me if I would be her dance partner on a television show while we were there, so we went to Kadaina and filmed live on TV some Lindy Hop, which was fun. We then went to Palanga and we met up with one of Gabia's old friends, Goda, and got to hang out with her grandparents. And then we went to Vailona and got to hang out with Gabby's uncle and auntie and cousins, which was really nice. We were also able to see Gabby's granddad and hang out with him a bit in his garden. Lithuania is very, very, very easy to explore in a camper van without having to go on campsites. Even if you do go on campsites, they're not very expensive. They're between 10 and 20 euros a night, but you really don't need to. There's so many beautiful wild places in nature that you can stay in the camper van. You can pull up, whether it be next to a lake, whether it be next to a forest or within a forest. There's many, many places you can go. And I felt myself a lot freer to be able to go and park in these places and hang out or sleep. And I didn't feel uncomfortable like I do when I do that in the UK. I didn't feel like somebody was going to move me on, or like I was in any sort of potential danger if anyone was going to try and break into the van, which has happened to me before in London. And you know, it felt very safe and very comfortable to be able to stay in the van wild camping. Even by the coast in Palanga, there's many places that you can just pull over and stay. Then when we went to Valona, we stayed Valona is a very, very underrated town, by the way. I'm really glad that Gabby's family lived there, her auntie and uncle and cousins, because if not, we may not have ever been there, and well, I certainly may not have done. But it's such a beautiful place on the river. I would highly recommend that you go and check it out when you go to Lithuania. It's stunning. As well as traveling around Lithuania, there's lots of things to do there. You know, Lithuania, it's not as cheap as it used to be, but you can still get some very good deals on eating out and doing activities outdoors. For our birthdays, Gabby and I's birthdays are very close together, and for Gabby's birthday, her parents got her a hot air balloon experience. The footage from it was just mind-blowing. It was just so stunning. And for me, they got me a 4x4 buggy experience, which I loved so much. You can go and watch those videos up here in the rest of the Van Life Lithuania playlist. When you're driving into Lithuania, if you're coming from sort of the south of Europe or anywhere around Poland, you will have to drive through Poland. If you're coming from the UK like we did, we went across straight into France, all the way across Belgium, across the Netherlands, a little bit of the Netherlands, and then into Germany. And we were able to do that whole stretch of journey in one evening, just about 4 hours driving. And then you have a good day or two driving all the way across Germany and all the way up through Poland to get to Lithuania. But from there, you don't necessarily have to drive back down through Poland to get anywhere else in Europe. You could get a ferry from Latvia, which is just north of Lithuania, and go across to Sweden or, you know, anywhere in the Scandinavian countries. We've done that a couple of times before, where we've driven to Lithuania in the old camper van, and then we've gone to the coast to go and see Gabby's grandparents, and then we've gone up the coast a tiny bit into Latvia and got a ferry across the Baltic Sea across to Sweden. When driving in Lithuania, be aware of where you're going and what the map looks like when you're going there. Gabby and I learnt the hard way when we were driving from Palanga to Valona, and we went down a road that was marked on Google Maps, but it didn't have a number. It didn't say like 1307, whatever. It didn't have any number on the road at all, and it actually turned out to be a dirt road that we drove down for a couple of kilometers and actually turned round and went back the other way because we didn't want to damage the van. Lithuanian drivers are pretty good. A lot of the roads are single lanes, so you know, one lane going one way, one lane going the other way, and obviously you're driving on the right hand side of the road. More often than not, the driving is very comfortable in Lithuania, much like it is in the UK. Poland, on the other hand, was a completely different kettle of fish, but anyway. So Lithuanian food. If you're going to Lithuania and you want to experience the culture, in my eyes and in my belly, I think food is a great way to access a culture. So in Lithuania, I would say the top 3 things you should try. The top 3 things that you should eat are šalti barščiai, which is a cold beetroot soup. Now hang on, stay with me here. Cold beetroot soup is amazing. It's really, really good. When Gabby first told me about it, I was like, no thanks. But it's one of my favorites now. So šalti barščiai, koldūnai, which is basically dumplings, kind of similar to Polish pierogi. And then third is zeppelini. It's essentially a potato wrapping a meatball, but it's not that straightforward. Those are the 3 things that I definitely recommend you should go and eat. Something else I would also recommend trying is Kibane, and that comes from Thrace. I went with Addis one day and we went and took a rowing boat around Thrace, which is an old medieval castle, and it was a super fun day. And then we ended that little trip with a few different types of Kibane, which is a local dish that was brought up from Crimea, actually, in Ukraine. Something else you should try, which we didn't try, which I was really gutted about, but is Jugus ice cream. Jugus is a company that makes cheese, and I'm not sure what the translation of Jugus is. But anyway, this Jugus ice cream, everyone was going on about it. It seemed to be the next best thing. Everyone recommended it. I didn't get a chance to go and buy any, but if you do, then definitely get some. If you guys have any questions about van life in Lithuania, then please hit up the comment section below. Ask us any questions. We'd be more than happy to answer them. We really, as we said before, we really encourage everybody to go and visit Lithuania, especially if you've got a camper van. There's so many free and very, very cheap spots that you can stay. And it's a gorgeous country that needs exploring. From the history in the capital, Vilnius, to the beautiful coastline along Nida and Palanga, Klaipėda, and that area, to all of the little villages that you can drive through when you're driving through the countryside. Everywhere has so much character that I really encourage you to explore. I hope this video has been useful, guys. If you're planning to go to Lithuania, let us know. If you've been, then let us know as well. Let us know what you thought of it. But until next time, I'm Sam, she's Gabby, over and out.